I'm going to give another minute or so to let people join and get muted so we have a little bit of a no background noise. Okay. If people keep getting in there. All right. I think we'll get started pretty shortly. Got a few more people in the waiting room. Looks like some nice weather out there. It's not very nice up here in Maine. It's a little rainy and yucky today. All right, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Like I said, thanks you all for joining. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes. Okay, we got 2 more people. All right, no, a couple more seconds. Tonight's webinar, we're going to touch a little bit on the importance of getting your local community, specifically the local or state veteran organizations, involved. If you have any questions, we will be opening it up at the end to give an opportunity to ask those, and then to also give a chance for anyone to share their ideas and successes with involving veteran organizations in the mission. While we have Veterans Day in the fall and Memorial Day, Emily, you're muted. Why does it keep muting me? I don't know. Okay, my apologies about that. I did not know it was muting me again. Okay, let me start that again. While we have Veterans Day in the fall and Memorial Day in the spring, our servicemen and women sacrifice their time and safety every single day of the year to preserve our freedoms. In many American homes, every day there's an empty seat for one who is serving or one who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and never came home. That is why Wreaths Across America's mission to remember, honor, and teach lasts all year long, far beyond the single day in December when we coordinate wreath laying ceremonies. All throughout the year, Wreaths Across America works in a number of ways to show our veterans and their families that we will not forget, that we will never forget. During this webinar, we're going to talk about the many ways to remember and honor our veterans and teach the next generation to do the same, and how you can bring the mission to your local veteran community. To start, you are all here this evening because you either coordinate a wreath laying ceremony for your location, or you are registered as a sponsorship group and help with sharing the Wreaths Across America mission through your community outreach. Because it is important for us to reach our veteran communities all across the country so that we can remember and honor each veteran who has served, we would like each participating location to have at least one sponsorship group to help with community outreach and support the year-round mission. So let's talk about how locations and group can work together to grow the mission. As many of you know, we encourage you to think of your location as a funnel. The more sponsorship groups feeding into that funnel, the broader your reach, and the more likely you are to fully cover your cemetery with a remembrance wreath for each veteran laid to rest, while also engaging your local community with the various programs offered by Wreaths Across America. As you reach out to your community and share with people about what you're doing and why, invite them to sign up as a sponsorship group. Anyone can get involved. Individuals, families, friends, organizations, and businesses can all become sponsorship groups. When someone registers as a sponsorship group, they are able to make their support go even farther by choosing one of our group plans. And this is a refresher for many of you, but with the 3-for-2 plan, a third wreath will be sent to the location at no charge for every 2 wreaths sponsored through a group. This is a great way for the group to help maximize the number of veterans wreaths placed on veterans' graves. The $5 back plan is a wonderful way for a group to do good twice. For every paid wreath sponsorship, the group receives $5 back. The group can then use those funds to help their own organization to do good things for the local community, such as supporting living veterans, cleaning headstones at the local cemetery, or whatever the community or the veteran community might need. Lastly, when a group chooses or selects the no plan option, they're helping cover the Wreaths Across America overhead for all of the year-round programming that we provide as an organization. This is a great way for the sponsorship group to support all of the behind-the-scenes work at headquarters. While any organization, individual, or business can get involved, this evening our focus is on veteran organizations and how you can involve them in all aspects of the Wreaths Across America mission. Our theme this year, as many of you know, is Serve and Succeed, and we are committed to supporting and bringing attention to the needs of our veteran community while also showcasing the continued contributions of those who serve. One of the ways that we can continue to do so is to get all of our local veteran organizations involved in some way in the Wreaths Across America mission. There are many ways they can get involved, and we'll give you some of those ideas tonight. The best way to find out which veteran organizations in your local community is you can reach out to the Chamber of Commerce to see if they can provide you with a list, or do a simple Googling veteran organizations in your area. Sometimes doing it on Google Maps is really great. There are many different veteran organizations on state and local levels. Two of the most well-known are the VFW, which is the Veteran of Foreign Wars, and the American Legion, both of which have numerous locations across the country and probably at least one post in your town. They both do a lot of good for our veteran communities nationwide and are an excellent resource for finding veterans interested in supporting the Wreaths Across America mission. The easiest way to find posts near you is by visiting the National VFW or American Legion website and then doing a simple search by your zip code or your city or your state. It's really great. We listed the sites here, and right on the site, it will say find a post, and you can click that and you put in your zip code and it'll bring up a list of posts that are nearby. Another organization that many people don't realize exists are the student veteran organizations at your local college or university. These groups serve as a resource for students enrolled in courses who are either veterans or actively serving and they act as a liaison between the veteran student community and the school to ensure academic success. They typically hold activities that will help the student transition from life within the military to that of a student, and they provide counseling services, commuter lounge space, and other helpful resources. These organizations are often not funded through the school's budget and look for other ways to generate funds to continue their work. Finding these organizations may require a little bit of digging, but usually starting with the school's financial office will help speed up that process. There are many other veteran organizations that are not listed in these ones that we just highlighted. There are ones that are state veteran organizations, the Veteran Affairs offices. Other organizations that might be considered veteran service organizations are Sweats for Vets, Goodies for Our Troops, JC's, Quilts of Valor, and then any other organization that helps focus on putting together care packages to send to troops or support those that have served.
Emily?
Just 1 second. We're gonna have some time for questions at the end.
No question.
Next, I would like to introduce. Go ahead.
Just a comment.
Okay.
You're missing one very large veteran service organization, and that is the Disabled American Veterans, the DAV.
Yes, that is included. And when we talk about the state and kind of the Veterans Affairs, that was kind of included in there. And we wanted to make sure we only highlighted a couple and left room for anybody to share at the end some different. So if we would love to hear more about that at the end, Jim, if you'd like to share.
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Next, I would like to introduce David Kozlowski, one of our Region 4 liaisons, who is a veteran of the United States Air Force. He's going to explain why it's so important to involve veteran organizations in our mission to remember, honor, and teach.
Good evening. I'm Dave Kozlowski. A lot of the veterans, you have networks, you have mentoring, you have connections while you were on active duty and once you separated. But your service doesn't end when your commission or your enlistment ends. You continue to look for things to do. The brotherhood and sisterhood continues to live on long after you leave active duty. National Wreaths Across America Day gives you an opportunity to say these veteran names so they're not forgotten. Participating in various programs offered by Wreaths Across America can help us to continue to serve and honor those that are no longer with us. The military gives you a diverse skill set. These veteran organizations can tap into that skill set and add to your program so that you have the availability as a location coordinator or a group to add additional resources and additional team members to your team. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And sometimes your weakest link may have your strongest ties to the community. So again, you look for that, you tie into that, and it allows us to remember, honor, and teach. For many veteran organizations, they have strong ties to the community they're in. They either retired at their last base like I did, or you retire and go back to the community you grew up in. But again, you have those connections, and you built connections locally, regionally, nationally, and sometimes internationally, which will allow you again to contribute to the program and allow you to take those skills that you had and add them and have a voice to honor veterans. Supporting Wreaths Across America mission strengthens those ties with community involvement, network, and support. Don't ever be afraid to look for other organizations. There may be someone in one organization with ties to 2 or 3 others. You can link those together and build a solid program for supporting your community and Wreaths Across America. This concludes my briefing.
Thanks, Dave. Now I'd like to introduce to you Annie Brooks. She is one of our Region 5 liaisons who has also been a location coordinator for several years, and she's going to explain a few ways veteran organizations can get involved in the Wreaths Across America mission.
Thanks, Emily. Forming a relationship with your local veteran organizations is not only an important part of the success of your program, it's also the fun part. These organizations are often active in your community in many different ways and are easy to get involved in various programs offered by Wreaths Across America. Registering veteran organizations as a sponsorship group is beneficial to both organizations. It helps gather wreath sponsorships, but can also help the veteran organization raise money for causes or projects that are important to them, such as forming a medical supply rental program, upkeep of their buildings, perpetual care programs for veteran graves and local cemeteries, etc. Encouraging them to be interviewed by Wreaths Across America Radio can provide an outlet for them to tell their stories and for you to learn about veterans in your communities. This information can be used to create a Remember a Veteran program using the template found on the volunteer resource page. Many veteran organizations are responsible for placing the flags on veteran graves in local cemeteries over Memorial Day and will often help locate or identify graves that may not be marked clearly. Ask them about leaving the flags up if your cemeteries will allow it year-round, making it easy for you to locate every grave on Wreath Day, especially if you're in an area that may have snow. Much like encouraging local veterans and veteran organizations to interview with Wreaths Across America Radio, having them tell their stories to local school classrooms or children's groups will help the younger generations in your community get to know and appreciate the veterans in their communities and understand the sacrifices that they have made for all of us. Wreaths Across America has a wonderful teach curriculum that's tailored for grades K through 12, but can also be used to teach anyone interested in learning about our nation's history and the freedom that we experience today. For many veterans and their families, it can be very meaningful for them to take part in the Remembrance Tree program. This is a free program and offered for anyone who has served in the United States military. A dog tag is made for the veteran and placed on a living balsam tree in the down east part of Maine, where the trees are tipped each year and made into veteran wreaths for placement on National Wreaths Across America Day. Their tree becomes a living memorial for the veteran all year round. Veterans and their families can visit Maine to place the dog tag themselves, or they can request that a volunteer places the tag for them. Many of you know about the mobile education exhibit and have been able to experience it during its travels across the country each year. When it visits your local area, it's a wonderful opportunity for you to invite your local veteran community to attend. At each stop, and as part of the Wreaths Across America mission, we hold ceremonies to welcome home our Vietnam veterans. You can also ask your local veterans to participate in or help plan your local Wreath Day programs. In addition to inviting them to help place wreaths in the cemetery, find a member from each branch of the military to present the ceremonial wreaths. Ask someone to MC the ceremony or help lead the Pledge of Allegiance. If there's a chaplain at the local post, ask them to say a short blessing over your wreaths or your event. Later this week, we will add the webinar recording and the slides to the volunteer resource page for you to download and quickly access the links that are built into the red buttons on these slides. They will come in handy all year round as you work to get your community more involved in the Wreaths Across America mission. Now back to Emily.
Emily, you're muted. Thanks, Annie. Thanks, Megan. I don't know what we do without our team, really. So now that you know how to find our local veteran organizations and how you can involve them in Wreaths Across America mission, let's talk about the resources that are a great way to share with them and inspire them to get involved. And as Annie mentioned in her last slide, these these slides will be up and ready for you, next week, and you can click these red buttons and their quick links are right there, which is great. Our volunteer resource page is the best place to find whatever you need as a volunteer. We designed it with a wide variety of resources so that you can easily pick and choose what materials you think your community will respond to the best. Tonight, though, let's talk through a few resources that are an excellent way to spread the mission with those who may have never heard of Wreaths Across America or the programs that we offer all year round. So first, when you look under the section titled Marketing Materials that teach about Wreaths Across America, you'll find our Wreaths Across America presentation. It's great to use when you're sharing the mission with a group of people. You can use it in a combination with any of the other resources or on its own. That's really up to you and what you think the community, what will appeal to the community the best. In that same section, you'll find another resource titled 2023 Fact Sheet. This gives a recap of the impact that Wreaths Across America made last year with the help of millions of volunteers nationwide. A lot of people really like to print that fact sheet and either use it as a poster or a flyer or have available at events or on their display table. It could also be attached to an email, or you can hand deliver it when you enter or visit your local veteran organization. One of the things we love to share are the 2 YouTube videos linked on these slides with anyone new to the mission. They are really impact you because they teach you about the mission and exactly the meaning of it. They are wonderful to share maybe on a repeated loop at any events that you might be at or to play as part of a presentation. But again, it can also be shared on social media or in email. Speaking of social media, that's also a great tool for you to share the mission with a broader audience and share the stories of your local veterans and what you are doing to support your veteran community. The volunteer resource page has a section dedicated to helping you with your social media efforts, but one particular document, and I'm pretty sure Annie just mentioned it before, is the Veteran Remember template. And if you create a free Canva account, you can edit that template for the veterans in your own community. It's a special way to share their picture and stories with your followers on social media.
Veteran involvement can really unite your community and help your program grow. While we want to create opportunities for our nation's veterans to benefit from the various programs we provide at Wreaths Across America, it's also a good idea to pay attention to what your local veteran organizations are asking for and where they may need help. And if it's something that you can help with, jump in and offer your help. For instance, last year, my local Legion was looking for volunteers to help serve their veterans at their Veterans Day dinner. I volunteered. By doing this, it gave me the opportunity to meet members of their veterans organization and learn the stories of those who aren't able to attend. But it also gave me the opportunity to show them that I was willing to invest my time in their organization while inviting them to get involved in an organization that I'm passionate about supporting, Wreaths Across America. It also gave them the chance to become familiar with me and ask questions they had about the Wreaths Across America program. Forming a personal relationship with veteran organizations not only helps to raise awareness of the Wreaths Across America program and what you're doing locally to support it, but it also helps to build a network of resources for your veteran community. Now we'll open it up to all of you. We'll take the next few minutes and give those interested an opportunity to share how their local veteran organizations participate in the Wreaths Across America programs and ways they've found successful for getting them more involved. Please click the button to raise your hand and we'll call on you one at a time.
I'd love to start with Jim, if he's still willing, if he'd like to chat a little bit about the disabled veterans, that would be great. So if we could start with Jim.
Sure. When I saw your slide earlier, I just wanted to ensure that your listeners understand that the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, is another large congressionally chartered veteran service organization that's out there in many of your communities. So yes, the Legion is large, as is the VFW, but the DAV is also. And there's another one I want to mention, and that is the Marine Corps League. I'm a veteran of both the Marine Corps and the Army. And so we want to make sure that we are aware of the Marine Corps League. They have detachments in local communities. So please look for them as well. Thanks.
Wonderful. And Jim, do they each have their own website that you can go on and kind of search that way? Or is it easier for people to just Google like their area and see if they have one local?
It depends on the post or the detachment or the DAV chapter. Some smaller organizations do not have websites.
Okay.
You can check with the local Chamber of Commerce or simply by Googling to try to locate them. But if you locate one, like the Legion or the VFW, they will generally know about the others in the local community.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jim. We really appreciate
You're
that. All right, does anybody else have their hands raised? Would anybody else like to share? Or are there any questions maybe? Oh, I see Elizabeth Hoover in Texas. Go ahead and unmute.
Yes. Well, actually, right now I'm in Washington State because it's way too hot in Texas. But, I have had the privilege of working with a church in Katy, Texas, that has a historic cemetery that has 8 veterans. So that's who we honor in our program. And we incorporate the honor guard that are made up of veterans from the VFW group and the American Legion group to post the colors. And one of their leaders also recites the names of each of the veterans before the wreath is put on their grave. So we've incorporated a lot of veterans in our, because it's such a small, but of course, our program is always held at noon because the big cemetery, which also has Wreaths Across America, the same guys are doing double duty. So they're doing honor guard work at the big cemetery, and then they come down and do our little cemetery. But it's quite a unique situation with this small cemetery that we can do something more with it. Our biggest problem, of course, is the weather. For 2 years, it stormed and rained, and the tent blew, and everybody was holding on to the tent to keep it from going away as we were doing our program. But this past year it was very, very cold, but at least it didn't rain. So we're hoping for this year will be a little milder, so we won't have to battle the elements quite so much. But the main thing is the number of veterans that we incorporate. I ran into the maintenance man at my local YMCA when I was at exercise. I was telling him about the program, and I needed people because it was the first year I had done it. And he was his dad was a Marine, but he was never able to serve, so he's in all the auxiliaries. But he gave me the names of the post commanders and the guys that he knew, and it was really a wonderful collaboration in getting all of this put together. And this year, since it's a church, I had asked the cemetery organizer for the church if their choir would care to sing at the Wreaths Across America presentation. And she's like, oh, yeah, we'll do that. And she said, you know, we have this woman who is a member of our choir, and she's actually sung the national anthem for the Astros, the baseball team in Houston.
Oh, wow.
All right. So these wonderful things just keep falling into my lap, and I just say, thank you, thank you. But I just wanted to let you know that we have incorporated as many people as possible into our celebration of the lives of these veterans. And we have veterans from the First World War up to the current Afghanistan debacle. So
Right.
we have even though we only have 8 veterans right now, maybe it'll get bigger as time goes by. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Betsy. I think that's a
Mhm.
great way to highlight how the community, it can just happen at the local Y, mentioning it to someone and, getting your community involved. So thank you so much. Next, we'll go to Kathy Pagano. I see you've had your hand up there. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Emily. How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm doing well.
I wanted to make mention too that the Vietnam Veterans of America really are a great resource as well. I've had great fortune in working with all of the organizations for our ceremony. The Legion will provide the color guard for our ceremony on the wreath laying day and for the ceremony. And I think it's critically important that we get the kids involved. So that's where I think not only looking at the veterans group, but the ROTC programs that might exist in some of the high schools can also be beneficial if we can try to work with them, though they might be able to help with some of the fundraising and see what they can do at the high school level or whatever level, college level. I'm going to start to research that. You brought out a good idea today, so I'm going to try and see about the local areas too. I know we're working with one college, but I have 2 more. I wasn't thinking about them, so I'll try and see about that. But I think that the more the veterans get involved, the Legion, the VFW, the DAV, Purple Heart, Military Order of Purple Heart, there's just so many, and the support is incredible. And a lot of times I think that that's sometimes as location coordinators, you really need that. You need them to help you. I created a group. I would suggest to incorporate or create a group for yourself, a committee, where you can have these representatives come and they're totally engaged in how you're setting things up and what you're doing, because I think that would help them feel more a part of it. And then you can get the support you need, no matter what the size of the cemetery that you're dealing with. I mean, I have a large cemetery, but not as large as some of the others here. And but still, every help that you can get is very, very is critically important. I think, to me, it definitely helps me out. So that's a suggestion I would offer.
Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate all you always have to offer. You're so insightful, and you're right about getting into the schools. That's a huge important one, getting the kids involved for sure. All right, next, Valerie R. You had your hand raised. Go ahead, Valerie, I think you're unmuted. I can't quite hear you, so I'm gonna move on and we can come back to you, but
Can you hear
I
me
think
now?
I can, yes, go right
Oh,
ahead.
okay. There you go. At our location, we have always incorporated these ceremonial wreaths, which honor the branches of service. And other locations that know of the ceremonial wreaths will remember that there is one dedicated to POW MIA. If you contact Rolling Thunder, the motorcycle group, they are a group that is very aware of the POW MIA issue, and they look for opportunities to bring that to the public. I Googled them and I found a local chapter, and they have been so helpful in sponsoring wreaths and getting other people to sponsor wreaths and to come and participate. So we shouldn't forget the POW MIA issue as well, and Rolling Thunder is the way to go.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie. I didn't know they were so influential with finding that kind of stuff out and helping. So thank you so much.
Yeah, they're a
Um,
national group. They're all over. So I think if you just, Google it,
Googled it.
you'll find a
Yeah,
local one. Definitely.
awesome. Thank you so much. And I think it's a Dreama Brower.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm with the Las Vegas Springs chapter in Las Vegas. And we invite a local military unit to attend the wreath laying ceremony with us and give them that opportunity to advance. And we have found that to be extremely beneficial, both to our DAR chapter and also to, they seem to enjoy it a lot and they bring their family members. So it's a good way for them to see that we appreciate them. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Oh yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Definitely. Thank you. And
Emily,
then
real quick, Wayne is in the comments. He doesn't know how to raise his hand, so he asked that we call on him.
okay, go ahead, Wayne.
Thank you. I've just unmuted. I just wanted to point out Rolling Thunder is not a motorcycle group. I'm a member and most of us love motorcycles and we participate in them, but you don't need to have a motorcycle to be a member of Rolling Thunder. I would say roughly a third of our membership is on motorcycles. So we're very active with the POW MIA issue. That's the heart of our campaign and what we do. And the other thing I would like to say is our counties here in New York have veteran service administrations, and they have a listing of every darn one of those thousands of veteran service organizations and veterans organizations. So your local veteran service organization, veteran service administration at the county level or the state level would be a tremendous resource to find these organizations. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you, Wayne, for clarifying. We appreciate that. And then Kimberly, I think you have your hand up as well.
Hey, it took me a while to figure out how to mute and raise my hand as well. Okay, so I am new to our I'm now, and I am doing our WAA for our chapter. But I have always been under the impression that we're not allowed to use the DAR name or abbreviation in a social media setting. Is that true or not true?
I
Did that make
do not.
sense?
It does make sense, but I'm fairly certain that they have. I would enlist maybe one of my other liaison teammates if they have an exact answer for that, or if there is a DAR
Hi,
chapter.
it's Janelle. You
Oh,
need
hi,
to bring
Janelle.
that, you need to bring that up with your DAR regent. The DAR does have on their national website how to get involved with Wreaths Across America, and most of our DAR chapters do use the DAR in their sponsorship group name.
I'm not sure what that meant. So like if we have a business that wants to get involved in this, buy 2 wreaths and get a 3rd one free, which I thought was wonderful news. They need to be able to use the DAR information, correct?
You can actually submit that through your DAR sponsorship group. So the business can actually sponsor through your group. They do not have to establish their own sponsorship group. They can, but as a DAR group going out to collect sponsorships, you can absolutely submit that through your group.
And my regent would know how to do that.
Yes.
That as the chair, that's something that I'm supposed to be able to figure out. Is that correct?
Yes, and you should have received all your sponsorship forms and everything from your region liaison to help you.
Oh, I think that just happened 2 days ago.
Oh, then you're very new. So reach out to
very
your
new.
liaison and they will be happy to help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Kimberly, do you know which region you're in?
No, ma'am. I'm in
Okay,
North
what state
Texas.
Okay, then you're in region 3. So
Okay.
in the next 2 slides, we're going to show you we're going to actually show the regional liaisons, each team, and then we'll also have a map. And that contact information for your liaisons is right in those welcome emails. And if you have any questions, they will be happy to answer all of those. So thank you so much, Janelle, for jumping in. I was not
you are
quite
welcome.
understanding, so I appreciate that. Okay, and next I think we have Karen, and then we'll kind of move forward to finish this out. So go ahead, Karen.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to mention that I have used the educational materials and got it to individual teachers and schools and districts. And what came of that is children have parents who were veterans and active duty. And so they've shared it and they are now volunteering and participating in our program. And it's amazing how many children have veteran parents. And that's really cool that they come and step up. The other thing, what surprised me is the Republicans Women's Group in our county became a sponsor. And I didn't even reach out to them. They just saw the material and thought it was a good deal, and that's wonderful. So there are other community groups that are very involved and want to be involved. And the educational material is terrific. And that has gotten into our scout troops, and I have scouts helping and their fathers. So it's pretty cool, and mothers. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. Yes, we do. That educational material is wonderful. We have a wonderful Cindy Tatum is who, created most of it. And we appreciate all of that because we think it's pretty special too. All right, anybody else? I don't see anybody else. So I'm just gonna, this next slide here, this is as a little reminder, this is your locations and groups team. Each region has broken down. You can kind of see our faces a little bit. As you always feel free to reach out to your regional liaison team. Any questions, especially if you need any assistance in getting your local community involved. That's what we're here for. So you can find that information, like I said, either on the volunteer resource page, or you can find it in your welcome email, your confirmation email. And then here's the map, which shows which states are covered by each regional team. This map is located right on the front of the volunteer resource page, and it can be accessed at any time. So you can see how it's broken down. And so we just want to say thank you for joining us this evening. Like we said, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us. And we hope that, you take away some good pieces of information as you move forward we're almost there to, Wreaths season, and get excited for getting them involved. So thank you so much. Any other questions before we finish up? I don't think so.
Yes.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Hey, this is Jim again.
Hi, Jim.
I just signed our Legion Post up to be a sponsorship group recently. I have not received any materials. Can I expect to receive something from my Region 2 liaison?
Yes, I'm sure you'll be, typically it takes us, once you've signed up, it usually takes, 24 to 48 hours, depending on the week and the weekend, and you should be receiving something from them in the next couple of days.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All right, if that's it, I'm gonna say thank you again, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and always feel free to reach out to us anytime.